Relax, you're fine. Absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
What about the baby?
You're not pregnant.
Carvey, it was you who told me. You showed me the image on the scanner.
Look, there's no physical sign of your pregnancy.
What are you talking about?
Look, sometimes people display signs of pregnancy, physically as well as emotionally. But in your case, it doesn't exist. It's a phantom pregnancy.
No, that's not possible. I've had
Morning sickness, cramps, shall I go on? Look, all the symptoms are the same, but in your case, it doesn't exist. It's a lie.
No, that's not true.
Look, Harry, if you want to dream your little dream of being a mother, I recommend you do it on Earth. Up here, we don't need anyone as deluded as you.
Harry, are you there? Harry?
Earl, I'll hear you. I haven't forgotten.
I didn't want to bother you, but I told him you'd keep him company.
I'll be there.
Retract that. Good. Now remove the clamp. We're doing fine.
I think we sprung the leak.
Hydraulic fluid. Nothing to worry about. They do it all the time.
Hey, relax. Everything's going to be fine. Okay, so cliches aren't that reassuring. Sorry.
Gently.
It's in position.
You missed your true vocation in life, Fly. With a hand as steady as that, you could have been a surgeon.
It's a big difference between metal and flesh, Cavi. I think I'll stick to robotics.
Now, let's see if it works.
Coffee, black, no sugar, or saccharin substitutes required.
What's the matter with Lyle putting a voice unit in a vending machine? If you can make good coffee, that would be something.
30 meters to capture. Fluid umbilicals locked. ADS engaged. 20 meters and closing. Catherine?
Yes, Jason, what is it?
Our guest from Earth has arrived.
All right. Ask Carvey to meet him and check he survived the journey in one piece. I could really do without this one today. And ask Shannon to welcome him, and I'll meet him in the wardroom in half an hour.
What about Hawkspur's friend?
Not funny, Dusan.
Okay, you can come in now.
So what do we call them from now on? Super round?
It's just a highly efficient learning module linked up to a new optical power link. Its processing abilities have been increased by a factor of 10.
So does that mean it was a waste of time making him a red cape?
His mind's been expanded, augmented to the point where he could run the entire science deck on his own.
So I do get my holiday after all.
So what's so special about this chip?
With the link up to the new optical drive, he can absorb the characteristics of his environment. If you did the same kind of thing with the vending machine, for instance, it would decide that its main purpose in life was to make better coffee, thereby enhancing its potential as a machine.
Like cerebral augmentation.
Exactly. It heightens a machine's functioning abilities. He should be able to do any task I set him. Anything.
So, Mr. Hawkspur, your heart rate's rather slow, and your blood pressure's remarkably high. And when we add your, shall we say, extraordinary cholesterol level to the equation, it doesn't exactly add up to a combination I'd recommend.
Hey, Susan.
Hey, Walter.
What do you got there? A new computer game? You gotta stick to hard science, kid. That's why we're here.
It's a communication software program, Walter.
Oh, yeah? What's it do? Scramble the signal?
Actually, it does the reverse.
Get real.
It can de-encrypt any signal and trace it back to its point of origin.
Are you serious? You got any idea how illegal this is?
Is that a problem for you, Walter?
No. Not really. Not if we don't get caught.
What do you mean, we?
You're sitting on a gold mine here, dudes, and think of the possibilities. Interpol, the FBI, the agency. Hell, they could keep tabs on anybody at will, like those militia wackos. They know what they're thinking before they even thought about it.
Political opponents?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, in the wrong hands, yeah. But think. What are you doing?
I'm going to give it more thought. Perfect the program.
Ah, that's what I like to hear. Listen, I gotta go catch this guy Hawkspur. We'll talk later. Listen, I got a lot of contacts who'd kill for something like this. I'll handle the intros, you handle the software. We'll make a fortune.
Okay.
So, I'd advise you to use a substitution system to try to level your metabolism out a bit. Call it white for red rule. White meat rather than red. Chardonnay rather than claret, that sort of thing. And if you take this... Mr. Hawkspur?
Mr. Hawkspur, Walter B. Shannon, second in command of the station. Hope you had a pleasant trip.
It's not gonna go away, not for a while anyway. Where'd you get this jacket?
Came with the shuttle. Special delivery. My old jacket. It just doesn't fit anymore. Damn.
What's up, Harry?
Nothing to do with you. It's just, I had this dream again. The one where I wasn't really pregnant at all. It was all in my imagination.
Forget it. Hormones do the weirdest things to pregnant women. It was just a nightmare.
No, you don't understand. I didn't want this dream to end.
Harry, we've got to get ourselves together. We've got work to do, and that image scanner needs testing. Okay?
Mr. Hawkspur, I'm sorry I've been delayed, but...
Unpunctuality is not something that I readily endorse as a virtue, Commander. Or expect to find in a woman in such a position of power. I have a reasonable excuse for subjecting me to that so-called medical oil, but I'm sure that you do, however, save your breath. For me to be up here at all is an unnecessary novelty. But it doesn't matter, because I don't care. What I do care about is the fact that you have delayed the launch time agreed with my company, and that I find utterly intolerable.
Have you finished? May I speak? Control gives permission for takeoff, and we're currently waiting for clearance. When it comes, your sarcophagus will be launched as arranged. Understood?
Have one of your subordinates show me to my quarters.
One more thing, Mr. Hawkspur. You may be financially linked with Unity, but if you ever speak to me like that again, you'll be off this ship and your funeral company billed for a double cargo. Walter?
As Commander McTiernan's immediate subordinate, may I? It's moments like this make this tour of duty worthwhile.
For a serious scientific breakthrough, we've created the image of a box.
You have to wait for the image to develop. Just take a series of readings with a microwave scanner around every angle of the object.
Okay.
Then feed the data into the computer, and it all combines to create an image of what's inside.
So we could monitor the integrity of equipment inside a orbiting probe?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the next stage in this test program?
Surface texture. We have to find out whether there's anything it can't see through. You think it's time we let him out of there?
Right. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is simple. You're going to access a computer terminal and count the number of programmed self-modifications instigated by Julius and see how many of them are interlinked. Do you understand?
Here you are, Mr. Hawkspur. There's a bunk, washing and storage facilities. The comm link on the wall will connect you to anywhere in the station. Triggerphone. And the terminal on the desk will access the mainframe and the downlink to Earth.
Ah, redemption.
As I said, if there's anything you need, just use the comm link. No tip.
Will we get better image definition if we boosted the power levels?
No, it has to be on a low energy flux.
But surely the microwaves can be contained.
No, not with the random readings we're taking right. If the beam hits you, all of the liquids in your body will boil. You'd be cooked.
Oh, okay. So we'll keep it to lower energy levels.
Hello, how can I help you, Mr. Hawkspur?
My contract with Unity states that I can manage these funerals in whatever way I see fit. What I can see at the moment is some potential in this elaborate tin can.
Naturally, Mr. Hawkspur. It takes a man of vision to see such things.
You know the two untapped reservoirs of live media entertainment?
Of course not, Mr. Hawkspur.
Death and space. In order to achieve anything, you have to create a market for yourself. That's what I intend to do. You understand?
I'm not quite sure that I follow you, Mr. Hawkspur.
You have no vision. And that is the order of things.
I agree, Mr. Hawkspur.
Of course you do. Otherwise I'd fire you. Now let's press on to other matters. Give me the sales for the space interments as they stand at the moment, will you?
It's odd.
Is something wrong?
Hawkspur is using some encryption program on his communication terminal.
What's he trying to do?
I don't know. Did he bring any equipment up here? Some kind of computer hardware?
A small attaché case and an overnight bag, that's all.
He's certainly trying to hide something.
Contact the Malone family.
Yes, Mr. Hawkspur.
State categorically that I'm not prepared to make any concessions to reductions, cost, or discounts of any sort.
Certainly, Mr. Hawkspur.
Mr. Malone's launch will only be accomplished in full payment of fee, $1 million US. No reductions, no discounts.
No soul.
You realize we're breaking the law, monitoring a private communication.
What private communication?
Search me.
And that applies to the Greenwood and DeVries families. Make sure they specify which format they want the footage of the launching from Unity on. And circulate a memo to all news channels.
Definitely, Mr. Hawkspur.
Open bidding on live transmissions from Unity. The ratings should be tremendous.
What about the host, sir? Whose agent would you like me to contact?
None. I think I found the right woman for the job.
Does he mean you?
I think he does.
Toby, we need something to test out the radar scanner on. Something unusual, something impenetrable. Any idea?
How about the sarcophagus?
Harvey, I'm serious.
I've just had a look at it. And I guess I'd say it's made out of some kind of organically grown crystal. Is that strange enough for you?
Oh, okay, sounds good to me.
Have you finished already? Because if you had, you better... Slow down. Slow down. It's difficult enough trying to understand Rome binary without you babbling at that speed. You've done what? You'd better run that by me again. Because if you've done what you've said you've done, the consequences could be disastrous for all of us.
It's a bit morbid, isn't it? I'm bringing a coffin up here.
If you want to be buried in space, it's a good starting point.
We don't even know what his name was.
Well, let's see if we can find out what he looks like.
Okay.
Do you work out often, mister? You obviously take great pride in your body, hmm?
Can I help you?
Are you a gambling man, Mr. Shannon? Ready to risk everything on chance? Hmm?
It's not something I encourage.
Don't tell me. Company policy. The greatest enemy of individual initiative. There's nothing we can do about it, huh?
Look, what do you want?
Nothing. Your commander, though, she's a remarkable woman. Tell me about her. Oh, I'm sorry, that would be a breach of company policy, wouldn't it?
There's nothing I can tell you that she can't tell you herself.
Such loyalty. Now, that is very impressive. She's obviously a woman of great character to be able to stir such sentiments. I want to thank you, Mr. Shannon. You've convinced me.
Now, let's take this one step at a time. Tell me what you did and how you did it. You do realize there's only one way to find out whether you're right or wrong, don't you?
It comes together.
Commander.
I'm rather busy at the moment, Mr. Hawkspur. Is it something one of my colleagues could help you with?
Commander, our working relationship seems to have got off to rather a poor start. Therefore, I intend to make amends.
Oh, frayed tempers are by no means the worst effects of making the journey from Earth. People react in different ways. Please don't worry about it.
Well, space lag is the first thing that you have to learn to deal with. It's all part of the penalty for leaving the planet.
I wonder, would it be possible to have a private meeting? Shall we say in the wardroom in 5 minutes?
What do you think's in that attaché case?
I don't know. I have to get a closer look at it.
Are you sure you've got all of the readings?
Yeah, absolutely.
Must have some protective lining inside.
What for? It's not as though the pilot's in danger of being killed.
So how do you explain that then?
I don't know, unless it's something to do with the fuel supply for the freezing system.
A bit suspect, isn't it?
Well, the rocket they're going to put it in seems to be a standard space probe. I mean, it's got plenty of power.
No, not enough to get any further than Mars.
And it's meant to be heading for the sun.
Show me a directional guidance system with a fuel supply a handful time bigger, then maybe I start believing it.
I ought to sell tickets.
So Curiosity got the best review as well?
Well, it's not every day you get something like this up here. Besides, I don't like this guy Hawkspur.
It's actually his motivation behind the whole thing that interests me. It's a question of ethics. It's guys like Hawkspur who think the solar system is uncharted business territory. To him, the final solution to overpopulation would probably be to shoot the sick and infirm into orbit the minute they asked for help. There's a very small profit margin where ill health is concerned for people like Hawkspur. But when death rears its head...
Well, you think he's exploiting grieving families for profit?
Lavishing vast amounts of money on a loved one's final departure can be very therapeutic. It shows how much you love them without having to put it into words.
Yeah, but shooting them into space cost a fortune.
Well, the deceased was some sort of potentate. And with the whole family contributing towards Mr. Hawkspur's services...
He must have a bag of cash.
And that's not the end of it. I'll bet any money when the word gets around, the next customer will want to be, well...
What, dropped into a black hole?
The possibilities are as unending as the costs.
Tell me, Commander, can you honestly say that when you look at all those glittering stars out there, that anyone on Earth would notice if one of them wasn't there anymore? We can have no concept of the value of what's been lost. The same is true of the human species. When someone dies, who's to say that Earth has to be their last resting place? My company offers a final moment of glory to the deceased, which their grieving loved ones can savor forever. But at a price.
Alright, could you please keep an eye on everything for a couple of minutes? I'll be right back.
Sure.
Thanks.
No problem.
Let me check that I understand you correctly. You want me to endorse your company in a commercial?
To begin with, yes. Just a quote or two. It does mean you'll have to make a personal appearance. It's only something to keep my advertising boys happy.
Company policy would never allow it.
Your company has money in my company, and my company is therefore your company. So I don't see a problem.
Nevertheless, the rules...
Rules are there for those who would be ruled. We are here to shape and change, suit each requirement, meet each new challenge.
No. Categorically no.
Oh, sad. Is it merely a question of remuneration? Give me your bank details. I shall transfer, say, 50,000.
Mr. Hawkspur, is a point-blank refusal something you don't understand?
It just doesn't add up. Whatever those things are inside the sarcophagus, their mass doesn't leave enough room for a body.
You've taken weight and height ratios into account?
He'd have to be less than 6 inches tall to even stand a chance.
Harry, are you there?
I hear you, Covey.
Do you know anything about...
cryogenic freezing?
Yeah. You talking about the sarcophagus?
Yeah. Could you come down to the cargo bay? I need to borrow your expertise.
Is there a consultation fee?
Naturally.
I'm on my way.
You guys had better be right. This is a textbook definition of putting your neck on the line. Here goes.
Please state name and rank.
Dr. Lyle Campbell, Science Officer.
Please state security authorization code. Access confirmed. Please state required function.
Access, automatic disassembly, and component deorbit and re-entry program.
Live transmissions from space. Any of the major networks would kill for it, pardon the pun. Pay-per-view funerals, a regular funeral channel. Death of the day. Highlights during the evening. You could be the host. No experience necessary. Gospel choirs and the hydroponicum. And those little robots of yours, you know, we can paint them black for the occasion. Cute. We need to remember the cute element keeps the kiddies watching. And you, Commander, chatting to the bereaved families, offering them wisdom and counseling. Oh, the dignity, the dignity! Yes, and then we could have an advice line. A telephone to bury the poor in space. It's a green issue. You can't deny that you find the prospect of all that media attention fascinating. Do you remember that Stephen, what's his name, Dorking character? Per ardua ad astra. Without the wheelchair.
I'm genuinely overwhelmed, Mr. Hawkspur.
Excellent. With you on board, Commander, that's the course I'll be setting.
I'm afraid our mission on board this station doesn't include TV production.
Is there a diktat that forbids such a possibility?
It could be arranged.
Now you're toying with my business sensibilities, Commander. I can never tell when somebody's holding out for more money.
Stop now. This is insulting.
Great idea. Everybody has their own financial requirement. How far do I have to go with you?
Sonar alarms. What are you trying to hide, Hawkspur?
Well, it's lined with a series of sophisticated cryogenic freezing controls.
But
none of them appear to be wired up to the interior of the coffin.
Maybe it's shut off.
okay, let's say that's the answer. Let's take it one step further. Where are the nitrogen units?
They're bone dry. It's empty.
Your sarcophagus will take off, but next time I suggest you talk your way onto someone else's station. And take my advice. Don't insult their intelligence as you have mine.
Catherine?
Yes, Harry.
There's something that you ought to see. Can you meet me in the science bay?
I'm on my way.
No need to apologize. You have to go. Perhaps we can continue this rather amusing conversation later on. I shall be in my quarters. If you need me, just whistle.
Auto-destruct in approximately 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you right, Lyle?
What?
Are you alright?
Fine. Fine. Yes, I'm all right.
Okay. I have to find Catherine. Can you stay a bit longer?
Yes. Yes. Go. 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 If the disassembly trigger point's not here, where the hell is it?
Get on to every data retrieval center, every credit assessment bureau, personal information network.
Yes, Mr. Hawkspur. Would that just be within Europe, or the USA, or what?
Global, of course, you fool. I want to know everything there is to know about Commander Catherine McTiernan. Everything, you understand?
Yes, Mr. Hawkspur.
What on earth are they?
Well, we've established that their density is consistent with titanium. There are at least 200 of them. But other than that, we just don't know.
So, where's the body?
That's just the point. There isn't one.
If certain information were to reach you about Hawkspur, how would you react?
How might such information have been acquired?
If it was less than an ethical route, would you want to know?
Let's say, if it cast a damaging light on the person concerned, I'm sure the value of the information would outweigh the crime in anyone's eyes.
Okay, how about if nothing of any real interest came to light, you still wouldn't be interested in hearing about it?
Ignorance is bliss, isn't it?
Well, but on the other hand...
Exactly.
That's all I needed to hear.
Mr. Hawkspur, the data you requested has arrived.
Very good.
We have all the information you requested on Commander McTiernan.
Oh, yes. Oh, well sorted. You naughty girl, Commander.
Somewhere on this station, there's a trigger. And thanks to you, the slightest nudge could activate the automatic disassembly of this ship. How could you do such a thing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You don't seem to realize how much trouble we're in. Your new chip was meant to make you invaluable, not capable of destroying the station. If Shannon finds out, you're space junk, you know that, don't you? Now, let's look at this logically. You were simply meant to check how many programs had been cross-linked, correct? And you took it upon yourself to create some new cross-links and reprogrammed the disassembly trigger to another terminal. But which one? Do you know? So, all we have to do to stop Shannon shoving you, and possibly me, out of the waste chute is to find out where the trigger is and reprogram it before somebody sets it off.
Automatic de-assembly component and re-entry program engaged.
What?
Override aborted. Destination will occur in approximately 10 minutes and counting. 599, 598, 597, 596.
The implications of what you're saying are pretty serious, Harry.
Take my word for it. Nobody's in.
Walter, go and get Hawkspur. Ask him to come to the cargo bay. Now.
Sure. This I gotta see.
Julius, I need to know how many of Unity's priority circuits would be affected if I cut the link to the wardroom. Damn! If I rerouted the power from another source, is it possible to isolate a single outlet? Think! Think! You've got to think! What the hell am I going to do?
Oh, there you are.
Hey, Paula, come on, sit down. I need your help. Come on, sit down. I've accessed a database, but it's lined up with booby traps, so I need you to monitor if any of them are tripped while I'm scanning the files, okay?
Sounds highly dubious to me. What is it? What are you trying to do? Whose database is it?
Hawkspur's. I want to know what kind of information is so important that he carries it around in a data core.
What have I got to do?
Just watch the files.
My dear Commander, this is a sterilized container unit. It's there to protect the deceased from deterioration and yourself from possible contamination.
I see.
Opening it now would cause irreparable damage.
Curious. I thought the fact that the body had been cryogenically frozen might have stopped that from happening.
No. It's quite out of the question.
A good reason might help to convince me, Mr. Hawkspur.
Commander, you're not listening to me. The sarcophagus cannot be opened for your own safety. Quite apart from the fact that the lid has been sealed and blessed by the family's personal priest.
Ah. Walter, do the laws that apply to a captain at sea work for someone like me in outer space?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Well, if I can perform a wedding ceremony, I think I can cope with a funeral service. Carvey, get the laser cutting equipment.
This is an outrage and a blasphemous act. I'll personally see you stripped of your command.
Not much time left. Got to think. Think, man, come on, think!
Have you anything to say before we start this?
Come on. Come on.
5 minutes to destination and counting. 259, 258, 257.
I know.
Countdown acceleration percent at 2 minutes 30 seconds and counting. 149, 140.
Sophistication of Hawkspur's computer system is staggering.
It's nothing but figures.
It's his accounts. I'm trying to find the financial record for the funeral operation he's running. I'm talking about 6 figures wealth here at 16. We're in. Payments for burials in space. That's interesting. There's far more than just one.
All right. This has gone far enough. Let's discuss this somewhere else.
Very well. The wardroom?
Let's face the facts, Paula. It all fits together. Like a jigsaw.
There's got to be another way of checking. You can't start throwing accusations around unless you're 100% certain.
Certain about what?
seconds. 25
I can't stop it!
Countdown accelerated. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lyle? What on earth are you doing?
Well, it was...
Okay, I don't want to know. Just leave us alone for a few minutes, would you? So, how are we going to do this? Do I have to guess whether you're telling me the truth or not?
In business, one should never be economical with the truth, particularly amongst equals. Please be frank, Commander.
What have you done with the body?
The deceased is still in there. Yet how shall I put it? He's not the sole occupant.
Ah, you have 2 bodies in there.
Well, no, not exactly. Are you familiar with the concept of freeze-drying? It reduces the body mass by 95%. This creates a considerable amount of space in the sarcophagus.
But surely the bodies would still keep their size and shape.
The particle grinder we put them through seems to have solved that particular problem. Think instant coffee, you'll get the picture.
Forgive my ignorance, but why do you need such a large coffin if you've already reduced them to pulp?
Granules. Well, as I said earlier, they're not exactly alone on this journey.
Tell me, 5 bodies? 10?
Multiply that by 20 and you'll be nearer the mark. Each one of the deceased is sealed in a sphere of titanium. Hence my concern that your attempt to open the sarcophagus, it would have been like splitting open a bag of marbles.
And the families? They all agreed to a mass burial, did they?
As far as the grieving relatives are concerned, this is strictly a one coffin, one body operation. We offer them footage in various formats of the launch of the sarcophagus from Unity. So they'll be none the wiser that their loved one's final voyage is more of a group tour than a solo trip.
This is outrageous.
Outrageous? No. No, Commander, I disagree. They're getting what they paid for. My conscience is clear.
Assuming you have one, how is that possible?
They're being launched with all due ceremony, aren't they?
Yeah, at a profit to you of 200 million.
Expenditure, processing, taxation, etc., etc. I admit it's considerably expensive. But grief is not cheap. Nor a grave plot.
And how do you justify morally what you're doing?
Moral rights cease when life ends. Especially where business is concerned. After all, as the man said, the dead are dead. They can't complain. And who's to say they're not happy?
So you're not worried about my repeating this to Unity's main board?
No, not at all. I shall simply deny that this conversation ever took place.
Oh, really? Did you get all that, Harry?
Something interfered with the comlink signal. None of it got recorded.
The ideal traveling companion. It tends to confound your average eavesdropper.
You committed a crime that defies belief. And I assure you, you're going to stand trial for this.
How so?
I stand as a witness and repeat under oath what you've just told me.
Before you parry me so gleefully, let me throw you a name. It might make you reconsider.
It won't.
Sergei Ostrovich. A brilliant cosmonaut. Dismissed by the Russians due to their somewhat draconian attitude towards extramarital relationships. No, surely not. Or perhaps it was because he was married to the daughter of the head of their space program. Yes. Well, now he's reduced to practicing his minimal musical abilities on small-scale provincial tours. Did he play for you?
Stop this.
See, I've hit the mark.
It's over. It's in the past.
After how many years?
That's irrelevant.
Would your husband believe that? I think not.
You can't threaten me. My husband knows. We worked it out and we moved on.
Does he know you're still in love with him? All those inquiries you've been making about Ostrovich's well-publicized suicide attempt. Who ever heard of a Russian failing to commit suicide? You really must have got to him. And what about your son? Is your husband sure that it's his child? Are you?
You disgust me.
One tries one's best. But I do promise you that I can set this story running in all forms of media. Old wounds bleed. Mud sticks. Innuendo and rumor can crack relationships and careers faster than you can paper over them.
I'm glad that you appreciate that fact, because there's something you should see.
Looks like a large bargaining chip.
Yeah.
How did you get a hold of these?
It was interesting reading.
Let's get this straight. 200 burials at $1 million a pop versus costs of $1 million for the launch. That's a profit of 99.5%, right?
Kind of difficult to explain, hmm?
Stalemate, I think, Commander.
No, not stalemate, Mr. Hawkspur. Innuendo can't compete with hard facts, so no deal, no bargaining. You're a con man and a liar. And as commander of this station, I'm formally arresting you. Now get him out of here.
Come on.
Let you go.
Let's not.
Tell me again why you want to take that chip out.
I'm sorry, Cabby. This is not the way to increase a rome's learning abilities. I have to teach them step by step. Right back to basics with their ABCs.
So you mean to tell me that I've wasted the time I could have been spending on my projects just so they could change your mind?
Cabby, I'm sorry. It just hasn't worked. I have to start again.
Don't misunderstand me, Lion. I don't mind helping you. It's just that I don't understand why you want it done so soon. You haven't even let a single day go past. What could have possibly happened in the last few hours that could have changed your mind?
Cabby, please. Let's just take out the chip, and I promise I won't bother you anymore. Welcome to the universe, guys. This is what's out there, outside the walls of the station. It's what I've always wanted you to see. You know, nobody knows or can even begin to imagine where it ends. It's just there, lasting forever.
Lord, Lyle. I thought I was outside for a minute.
Walter.
This is incredible. How'd you do it? What is it? Fiber optics? Hologram?
Mirrors.
Mirrors.
It's a camera obscura. Nothing more than an old fairground trick. I just put a high-tech twist on the concept. It's a reflection of exactly what's outside the station. But rather than just seeing it from one angle, the image surrounds you completely. Almost as though you were out there.
Great Christmas toy, Lyle. You could really clean up with that.
Oh, it's not for sale. I just wanted the guys to see what life was really all about.